The Baltimore Ravens OTA period is officially underway, and we've heard so much news coming out of Baltimore regarding a star wide receiver that could be on his way to Baltimore, as well as some big-time news regarding Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. We're going to break it all down in this video. I'm going to show you some OTA footage, as well as break down some news for you guys. Before we jump in the video though, comment down below a couple of positions of need going into the NFL draft and a couple of prospects that you think the Ravens should try to, acquire in this year's NFL draft. But also hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, it is free, and let's jump right into some breaking news.
Happy Sunday, and here we go again. According to numerous reports, Brandon Aiyuk has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. This is how I imagine we got to this point. The 49ers approached Aiyuk about a contract extension, and it was well below what him and his camp were expecting. They felt disrespected, so Aiyuk unfollowed the Niners on social media, and he requested a trade.
Now, before we break down the new news about Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, let's talk about a wide receiver that could potentially be on his way to Baltimore. According to multiple NFL sources and Kyle Yates, he reports that the 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade. Now, obviously, this is just speculation. Nothing is set in stone, and people are also saying that this isn't entirely true, but obviously something is going on. Now, he also puts out there the report lists the Steelers and the Ravens, two rivals, as teams that are heavily interested in acquiring the star wide receiver, along with a third mystery team as well. There's some speculation that could be the Las Vegas Raiders, but we don't really know for sure. Now, the main issue with Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers is the contract extension. Now, just yesterday, we got some breaking news that Devontae Smith was signing a major extension to stay with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, as for Brandon Aiyuk, he thinks he deserves some top-end wide receiver money, and at the same time, the 49ers do not want to give him that money. They don't want to give him that extension, which makes him available via trade. Obviously, the 49ers wouldn't want to lose him for nothing, and if you are going to lose him, you might as well get something in return. And at this point in time, it seems like a contract extension is very unlikely, but who knows? Again, just speculation. None of this is set in stone. None of it's a nail in the coffin. It's all just speculation. But if the Ravens wanted to go out there and, take him, especially avoid him going to a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? What do you have to give up to go get him? Now, just a few days ago, FanDuel put out this, kind of mock trade type of thing. This isn't being discussed, again, just speculation, but would you guys say yes to this trade? The Ravens get Brandon Aiyuk, and the 49ers receive a 2024 second-round draft pick, 62 overall, also a 2024 165th pick, a 2025 second-round pick, and Rashad Bateman. I would believe the Ravens would say hell no to this trade. However, with that being said, Brandon Aiyuk, in my opinion, is just, kind of tiers above Rashad Bateman throughout his career so far. But with that being said, I'm a big believer in Rashad Bateman and what he can do in the future. So if this is the trade that the 49ers want, I would say no if I'm the Ravens. However, if you can find a way to keep Rashad Bateman, keep Zay Flowers, and also add Brandon Aiyuk, you might be the most versatile team in the NFL. And with that being said, I think there is some more big news to talk about Lamar Jackson, but comment down below what is the most that you would give up for a guy like Brandon Aiyuk, because this trade right here, it's not it, at least in my opinion. Now, we also have some big news about Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry as well. Before we get into that, do me a big favor, guys. Hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Ravens fans around the world. But also subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. And we will be covering the Ravens for the rest of the offseason. We also do a bunch of live streams regarding the NFL and the NBA over on my Twitch. So if you guys do want to follow the Twitch, it is in the link in the description. So go check that out as well. But with that being said, let's talk about some breaking news regarding Lamar Jackson. Last season, Lamar Jackson was the MVP of the league, one of the scariest quarterbacks in the NFL, and look at him now. You might be wondering, well, why are we seeing this video of Lamar Jackson just walking into the facility? Well, if you compare Lamar Jackson walking into the facility now compared to this time last season, there's a major difference. Now, here's the big difference. Last year in OTAs, or at least heading into OTAs, The man was a little bit bulkier, a little bit more weight on him, but obviously it didn't really matter. He still was able to win MVP. Now you look at him coming into the offseason this year, much more in shape, much more skinnier, slimmer, and probably has much more speed going into next year. And one comment that pisses me off is this one right here. Still not a quarterback. Hey, he just won the MVP. Now, obviously, if I'm the NFL, I'm a little bit nervous, man. Lamar Jackson is coming off one of his best seasons yet, getting a little bit skinnier, but also they've added Derrick Henry to the lineup. They also have Paracard in the backfield as well. This backfield is going to be almost unstoppable at times. You talk about a guy like Derrick Henry. You talk about a guy like Lamar Jackson, who's added probably speed, more speed to what he had last season, but also probably more versatile as well in terms of throwing the football. But then you talk about maybe going out there and adding a Brandon Aiyuk. And in a minute, we're going to talk about why Brandon Aiyuk would actually be a really good fit here in Baltimore. But also, let's talk a little bit about Derrick Henry. Now, last season, the Baltimore Ravens ranked number 3 in the NFL in terms of yards per rush, number 1 in rush yards per game, and number 4 in rushing touchdowns per game. And they just got better. You talk about the trio between Lamar Jackson, Paracard, and now new Derrick Henry. This team is going to be unreal, especially running the football. But it makes them more versatile in the passing game as well. Not only can you not, stack the box because of what Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, potentially a Brandon Aiyuk, could do in the wide receiver room, but you are going to be forced to sometimes stack the box and allow them to beat you down the field with Zay Flowers, right? But at other times, they're not going to stack the box, and you're going to get they're going to run it down your throat. So this makes them way more versatile. And then you look at 10 plus yard rushes over the last 2 seasons. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry both have 60 10 plus yard rushes over the last 2 seasons, tied for second best in the NFL, and now they're on the same team. Another crazy thing about Derrick Henry in this offseason is the fact that the Dallas Cowboys didn't even offer him a contract. And the whole time he was saying, hey, he even called Dallas and said, I kind of want to go play with the Cowboys. And they never said a thing, which is crazy to me because Derrick Henry is a guy that can immediately change the impact of your backfield, especially if you lose a Tony Pollard. So Derrick Henry's coming in here with the chip on his shoulder. Every team in the NFL outside of the Baltimore Ravens believed Derrick Henry was slowly fading away. Obviously, coming off an offseason, the Tennessee Titans didn't really want to use Derrick Henry too much because they have an up-and-coming running back in Tajee Spears, and Derrick Henry wasn't a part of their future plans any longer. But he is still a massive running back. He is still a big-time threat. And the Baltimore Ravens pretty much got him here, not even giving up too much at the same time. So you have Lamar Jackson getting skinnier, getting more quick, more versatile, more dynamic. You bring in a dynamic starting running back in Derrick Henry, and you also have the ability to go out there and bring in a day 1 starting wide receiver in Brandon Aiyuk. In just a second, we're going to break down some of his film, and I'm going to show you why he would be an excellent fit. But they also brought in Deontay Hardy, a guy who's going to be a special teamer. With the new kickoff format, he's going to be able to bring back a ton of kicks. I guarantee you, Deontay Hardy in the special teams is going to slowly become one of the most important positions in football, and you're going to see a lot of points being scored just from him alone. And then you bring in a backup right tackle, or maybe even a contender to be a starter in Josh Jones coming over from Houston. You bring in some special teamers in Chris Board, who used to be here a couple of years ago. And then you bring in Kadar Homan as well, the DB room. But there are a lot of holes that the Baltimore Ravens do need to fix, right? Obviously, that safety room, you need some depth. Don't need a starter, but I definitely expect them to either sign some people or, draft some guys in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round here in this year's NFL draft to at least give yourself, some more versatility in that aspect. Now, obviously, at the same time, I think they need some more, offensive line depth. I think you got some solid pieces in Ronnie Stanley, Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Lindenbaum, Ben Cleveland, right? But obviously needs to be more versatility, more depth in that area, and the wide receiver room as well. And that's exactly when Brandon Aiyuk comes into place. Brandon Aiyuk is one of the NFL's premier route runners, and it's not even really close at all. Let me slow this down for you guys so you guys can really see these crisp routes. But if you add him here to the Baltimore Ravens, it is going to change everything for Lamar Jackson. You just talk about Lamar Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Brandon Aiyuk, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and then Isaiah Likely as well. I mean, this wide receiver duo or receiving duo is going to be insane. He's also a very good route runner, especially in the red zone area. There's a couple of routes he's run that have been incredible. Look at that whip route there. Gets 33 leaning and gets a wide open touchdown over the middle. Guys, this would be huge for a guy like Lamar Jackson who wants to get the football out relatively quick when he can, right? Brandon Aiyuk right away adds versatility in terms of short route running, medium, intermediate routes, but also can get behind the defense if you need him to as well. But more importantly, is a guy who thrives with the football in his hands, can really make guys miss in the open field, and again, just adds another dynamic to what already is an insane Ravens offense. But in the comment section down below, what would you give up for Brandon Aiyuk? And do you think it would be worth it to give up multiple picks in this year's NFL draft to go over and add him to the wide receiver core? Let me know in the comments down below. Comment down below some players that you think the Ravens should go out there and try to draft. Subscribe, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next Ravens update, which should be really soon. Peace.